Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580. By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader in the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Come on, Samuel.
Oh, she had to beat me on this one.
Tyra Banks debut. Come on, Samuel. 1990, this single dropped. And your girl, Tyra Banks, was featured in the video. I believe it was her first video appearance. So, shout out to that. Shout out to LA's own Tyra Banks, Immaculate Heart High School. All right, getting it in. That was a jam. That was a bop. I think I had the cassette single of this. Had to be.
The A-side and the B-side. Wow.
Man. B-side. Welcome back to Artist Repeat with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. We're in hour 3, the after hours. You know, this is where the velvet rope comes down. And we get into some things, some topics. We're going to have our Tubi review from the film The Threat Next Door.
Man.
We're going to talk about Marlon Wayans and his comments, and he said that his comments were taken out of context and he was being sarcastic. So we're going to have a little conversation about sarcasm and is it a lost art or are people just committed to misunderstanding people in 2023? And we're going to talk about UPS workers. Gino Bismarcky said in The Vapors when his homeboy was trying to get with the girl named Fran, baby, please, you work for UPS. Well, now UPS workers are clearing over $100K per year. They avoided a strike this week, and their negotiated salary temporarily, while they work out the full details of the agreement, is now a minimum of $49 an hour for full-time and $21 an hour for part-time. So that adds up to over $100,000 a year, plus benefits and what have you. So, you know, we have the conversations all the time. You see them on social media. People need a six-figure man. Well, now you can get that at UPS. You know what else you're going to get? Higher shipping rates, because somebody is going to have to pay for all of those raises. And obviously, it is going to be us. Andy, what say you?
What positions are we talking about?
Basically, like that is the minimum salary at UPS. So it could be a driver getting in the door, whatever. They're getting ready to do the hiring boom for the holidays, you know. Should we have a holidays like that? So, yep, $100K, $49 an hour, $21 an hour if you're part-time, though. So, I don't know. You're looking for extra work, getting ready for the holidays, you got a little time, your driving record's good, you might want to consider it.
What did Biggie say?
What did he say?
Don't be mad. UPS is hiring.
It makes sense, though. All that wear and tear on your body, time limits having to do with people driving, you know, in the streets. That's a lot. You should be compensated for that.
I mean, but overall, though, I think if we look at what is happening across America, across many, you know, jobs from several different levels, there is a labor, what do I want to say? Revolution?
Yeah, a revolt. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we are definitely, you know, being more conscious of, and I really think too it started with the pandemic, because that time, even though some people were going crazy in that isolation, it also showed you what you can do or what life can be like with a little bit more space to breathe, a little bit more relaxation. And I think once people realize that, like, we're killing ourselves, we're doing all of these things, some, not all jobs, but there are some jobs where you could get more done in less time, you know, without the distractions of the office, things of that nature. Also, we see big business continues to expand and do more and more and more. We see these CEOs with these salaries that we can't even imagine being close to, and people are looking at their life and like, but apartment rent is $3,000. Car notes, like for a Honda Accord, are like $700. What is happening? So I think that the approach to the workplace is changing, and it's going to extend to what have traditionally been known as blue-collar jobs as well. The baseline has to be raised. So just a little thought on that. Now, I mentioned Marlon Wayans of Marlon.
That we talked about this before. That whole family is just a beautiful, nice family.
And I do think that the Wayans family doesn't, they get their flowers. I'm not going to say anymore. There's not a lot of people since social media and everybody wants to have something to say, and they're kind of digging around to find people to give flowers to claim that they've been overlooked. So realistically, a family like the Wayans families and Living Color and stuff like that, it's hard to say that they haven't received their flowers. But, they could always get more, right? At any rate, Marlon, after the Alabama Brawl video, had commentary because he's a comedian, and he made a comment, something about we should all love each other, and is this an example of everybody coming together? There were some words that were capitalized. To me, I took it as he was being funny. But apparently some others didn't, and they came for him, and they thought he was all lives mattering the situation and got to hear both sides the situation. So he came back and he made a video, and his basic point of the video was that, everyone is approaching a situation from their level of experience, their perspective, and what have you. But the question is sarcasm still a real thing in this era? Because people seem to think and take things very, very seriously that, to me, a couple of years ago, people would have automatically known that they're being funny or they're being a joke or that they're being a smart aleck, as we say. And now it seems like a lot of that discourse is missed. And I just wonder, is it purposely done because people just want to be contrary? They want to just voice their opinion anyway? What are your thoughts on that?
So people are soft in 2023. Everything offends them.
Yo, okay? You soft, son.
Seriously. And as a whole person that grew up in the 80s and the 90s, y'all is soft. And come on. Satire, sarcasm, wit, it is all a lost art because you have to be intelligent to get all of those things. And because we are not an intelligent society and because we've been replaced with these devices, we don't think anymore. And sarcasm is something that you have to hear it. You can't be translated, over a simple caption unless you have a typographic mind. And those people are people like myself. We have to think.
Like me?
In order
to
get things. You know what I'm saying? These 23-year-olds, these kids, I bet you the people that started that argument were young and 30 and had no clue as to what was happening because they don't know, because they don't have the depth and the aptitude for it.
Andy?
As somebody who would receive sarcasm, I hated sarcasm simply because I would just take what they would say verbatim. And then, eventually, I'm just joking. Well, I didn't know that. Now you're upset at me because I didn't catch the joke.
Okay.
So, I respect sarcasm, but I never was a big fan of sarcasm. Just keep it straight for me.
Okay. Well, going back to our other topic really quickly, Urban Spinster says, no, that wasn't sarcasm for me.
I was toying with Andy.
I know. These companies, including mine, have laid off and expect the remaining staff to do more with less at the same pay strike. So, again, there is a labor movement happening across the nation. We have a phone call, which we love. Mimi from Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, Mimi.
Mimi, what do you have to say about the topics for tonight?
Hi, Jill. Hi, Trent.
Hi.
Wow.
Thanks for
calling.
calling.
It's been a great show. You're welcome. I think this ties back to when y'all were talking about blackness and, we're not a monolith. We're all, we're just different. It's levels. And Marlon Wayans, his comedy is still developing, you know. I mean, as far as his stand-up goes, his acting, you know, I think he's a really good actor, and I think he's great with sitcoms, but his stand-up, it seems like he's still growing. And maybe if D.L. Hughley would have said that, people would have received it in a different way, because we see him as an actor, a comedian, but also, what's the word, a satirist.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And we see Marlon as just kind of being goofy.
Okay. So
you
take what Marlon says, he puts it out there, you're going to take it as face value, because even though he's a jokester and a prankster, he is not someone that you expect commentary from, ironic commentary in that aspect.
Exactly. And also they date non-black, and so some black people have an issue with, you know, you talk black but you're dating other, and it's kind of like some of us have a problem with it.
It's Marlon's baby mama. She might be black, and
I love Mimi for that one, because see, I have a whole theory about black men who date outside of the race and why they do it.
Well, I mean, we are in the after hours, but I don't know. I think is that a conversation we want to have
tonight? Let's go there, and I'll keep it real simple, and I won't even go into my whole theory. I think that a lot of the times when black men date out of the race is because they don't want to be responsible and held to a higher standard, because a black woman is going to make you do things that other women will not tolerate.
Okay. Well, we're going to put a pin in that when we come forward. We're going to dig into that, your thoughts. I have a rebuttal for that. Mimi, did you have more to add before?
Well, yes and no with Trent on that. I think, black men, they go outside the race for what you said and other things too. You know, maybe, I'm just going to say it, in the bedroom, you know. That's it.
Well, Mimi, we're going to have you put a pin in it. I'm going to put you on hold, and when we come forward, we will continue down that path in your thought, because I definitely want to hear Trent's reaction to that comment. So we will have all that and more. You were checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes one and one makes peace. So much love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Game presents A Tale of Longing and Long-Lasting Scent. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. The scent of Gain Flings. Add Gain scent beads for an even longer lasting scent.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it, just roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom view. Gets you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build and inform and engage electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, it's Jill Munroe. You are checking into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Before we came forward, we were listening to Mimi share her thoughts. And so, Mimi, I'd like to bring you back in here for you to reiterate and kind of break down what you said.
I agree with Trent. He was saying that black women, we want to be treated a certain way, and I was saying, yes, I agree, but also non-black women, I think, do other things that black men like. And I was saying, you know, in the bedroom, and they're maybe more agreeable with
So
them.
you think that they're bigger freaks?
Oh, well, I mean,
sexually, you know. So here's my
yes.
thing. I feel like that it was for a very long time the rundown, the sort of label that non-black women got when they were dealing with black men, especially if you were talking about white women, right? That was the rumor. But I also feel like black women have caught up. Have you listened to hip-hop? Have you heard some of the things that they're saying? I think the demure version of black women was something that, especially as it pertains to things involving sexuality and so forth, was something that we, again, knowing that the black experience is different for everyone, but overall I think being chaste or, you know, being a bit more conservative as far as women was something that in the black community was held up longer than maybe in other communities in that aspect. And so now we're seeing an overcorrection where we have the over-sexualization where, you know, we look at our entertainers and they all, you know, are kind of in the strip club genre. The music from all our female rappers is very lascivious, you know. I mean, Lil' Kim was talking about back in the day, I can make a Sprite can disappear with my mouth, and Trina said, you don't know Nan.
Listen, yeah.
So I think that, you know, we have come forward in a way that is different. But I also think that black women are criticized differently for their sexuality and when and how they express it. So you know, but to the original point of whether black men go to white women for more sexual experience, I think maybe at a time, but I also think it's just, we sometimes discount the fact that it just looks different, and sometimes people just want to try, but that's a deeper conversation for another reason and what it may look like for some people, but, you know.
May I ask you a question?
Me?
Yeah.
Of course.
Why do some of the black celebrity men hide their women when they're not black?
Because they know what the feedback will be at this juncture. You know, I mean, you think about it. Think about something like Jungle Fever. I think that was released in like 91, 92. And the whole premise of the film was Wesley Snipes being a black man dating Annabella Shishora, I believe that was her last name, Italian white woman cheating on his wife. And I remember one of the lines that was said in the movie. She was like, because his wife was light-skinned, presumably biracial, mixed-looking, and she was like, "Can you believe he wanted lighter than me? I wasn't enough as a light-skinned," you know. So I think that there is an evolution of such, and that there's been a lot of feedback. There have been actors and artists who received a lot of heavy criticism. I remember after The Best Man 2 came out, there was a lot of commentary that the majority of the men in the cast, save Morris Chestnut, even though this movie focused on black love, the cast didn't reflect that. So I think that it became to a point, especially as social media came up. If you think about the 2010s and you look at black women's place in media as far as having a voice and a platform and what sort of our agency was and what we were accepting, it has changed and it has evolved. And saying that, these men now know that, if the majority of my work is coming within the black community, a lot of those women aren't going to be comfortable seeing me with a significant other that doesn't represent me. Doesn't mean that it's all, doesn't mean that it's right for everyone, but that is a consensus among some. And I do believe that there are actors that are aware of this, and therefore, much like back in the day, people kept their significant others hidden just from the fact that looking single makes a person appear more desirable, because then people can fill in with the fantasy and they don't think anybody's there. So it helps with that. But I think that they recognize how it's hurt some projects or some people if they believe that they are not involved with black women, you know?
That's a good point. I think white women are a little bit freakier than we are still. I'm just gonna add that.
I mean, they might be. You know, we'll have to see if the men chime in on that one and let us know that if they want to express their opinions on that.
Actually, I think that black women, there's an equal level of freaks, but it's just not acceptable to talk about the sexual openness that exists being black.
I mean, because I think that I used to talk about this all the time, even though we saw the fallout from Girls Gone Wild. But I believe, you know, white women were allowed to do Girls Gone Wild, have their wild college years, go off, get married, start a family, and act like that type of stuff never happened. And they weren't forever critiqued about it. It wasn't a stain on their record or a judgment as to who they were. It was just like, oh, remember that time in college we went to, you know, Cancun and got so drunk. Oh my God. Can you believe it? He was taking body shots off my stomach. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a different approach, and naturally we are more conservative people as a whole, so I think that it hits differently. But Mimi, thank you as always for checking in. Thank you for always calling. We appreciate your call so much, as well as your commentary.
Thank you. Great show. Great show.
Thank you. So Trent, in your experience, you have some white homegirls, right? Or homegirls you have?
One or two, yeah. It's less than 5.
Less than 5, okay. Do you think that there is, because to me, I am of the same token. I have, you know, back in the day, gone to school with, you know, of white girlfriends. I think that it is just a matter of acceptance and openness and what it represents. You know,
well, also too, it's you know, race is always an interesting, you know, topic. But when you grow up and you don't have to worry about certain things, you just have a different mindset. You know, so there's certain stuff that black people have to worry about that white people don't, that allows them to be uninhibited and live in ways that we will never understand.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Well.
Which is also kind of dangerous, being friends with them, because, you know, it comes with, we can't do all that, so you got to be cool, and I'm going to limit my time when I'm interacting, because I can't move like this.
Can't have all the wild nights that they can.
No, not at all.
I mean, that's how you, well, never mind.
That's why I still look good and I'm still here.
Okay. I'm still here.
Come on, Keisha.
Okay. Well, of course, we have more trending topics and headlines to discuss. We also have our Tubi movie review
to
get into. So really quick, want to share some news with you. Candy, she spoke to Entertainment Tonight recently.
Candy Coated Nights?
Candy Coated Nights.
Okay.
Candy. So they asked her, because obviously we've been seeing the clips over the past couple of weeks of Nene's interview with Carlos King, where she let it be known that it was her house and she built it, and all of these different things, and who she thought was boring and good for the cast and starless and all of that good stuff, you know. Nene's always good for a soundbite. She's going to tell you what she thinks. That's what those SAGs do, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they do. So Candy said that she would like to see Portia and Nene return to Real Housewives of Atlanta last season. And she said especially since Nene had so much to say about it, she wants to see her back on. So I thought that was interesting. Candy ain't no punk. Candy like, I'm going to get my checks. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do exactly what I do. I'm going to chill off over here, and if you involve me in some stuff, I'm going to pop it off. But otherwise, I'm going to do me and relax in the cut like a true Taurus queen, counting the dough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, listen, in the chat, we have Urban Spinster said, yet we are here worried about the Freaknik documentary. Back to our last topic. Yeah, you know we are. We have to be. There's also comments, these kids are soft nowadays, to our older commentary. It's a different breed. It's a different group. And this is a great point. Urban Spencer mentioned Terrell Owens. She said that when Terrell was growing up, he said that the white girls would like him, but the black girls said that he was too dark or all of these different things. You know, we hear that a lot. We hear like something similar from Donald Glover. He said that, oh, the black girls didn't like me because I was a nerd and I was into anime. And what I always say with that is that, listen, I bet you there was a nerdy black girl that liked anime, that liked Donald.
Yes.
I bet you there was a girl that might have been slightly rotund, maybe not the kind of cute that Terrell liked, that liked him, that he didn't like back. Yes. Mm-hmm. I always question when these things come up from men. I wonder, were you trying to date across at that time, or were you trying to date the top girl when you weren't maybe in your top standards? Like, you know, men don't mind. Well, obviously it's different from men. Men don't mind picking up a stray or a chick not working because it's a different balance of power, and they're looking for different things from them.
Not all men.
Not all men. Some men. Okay. All right, let me just get this out the air.
Let's go there.
Whenever I say something, I am not making a proclamation for everybody under that group. I feel like that should just be understood. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule. Sure. There will always be a segment of people that do not subscribe to those thoughts and theories, so do not take it as a blanket statement ever. And if when in doubt, ask. Okay. So when we come forward, we will have our Tubi movie review, The Threat Next Door. We will also talk about more trending topics and headlines. Stay tuned for news and sports. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Baby, I'm not used to girls who shy. Talk to me. Now I'm impressed by young ladies on a mission.
Infusing us into fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former Black Orlando Area State Attorney Monique Worrell says she'll challenge today's suspension by Governor DeSantis in the courts, but she's not hopeful she'll get her job back. Governor DeSantis suspended Worrell by executive order for dereliction of duty on crimes, saying her office has routinely allowed criminals to receive extremely reduced sentences. In Philadelphia, the Made in America Festival is being canceled due to severe circumstances. The Jay-Z event featured Lizzo, who is currently under fire for allegations of workplace harassment. It's not clear whether the current controversy, the microphone tossed by Cardi B during a recent Las Vegas, Nevada show, is going for nearly $100,000 at auction. On this day in history, back in 1936, Jesse Owens became the first American to win 4 medals in one Olympics. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580. By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader when the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands for Unity and Healing. African Focus Incorporated is a nonprofit organization based in California that focuses on the growth and well-being of Africans all around the world. Their mission is to promote the well-being of people of African descent through knowledge and appreciation of one another by building a bridge of love and understanding. African Focus Incorporated strives for cultural, educational, and economic growth. They're the organization behind the African Family Induction Ceremony, African Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase Los Angeles, Family Day, Good News Windows Microfinance Project, and more. To volunteer, travel with African Focus, or to attend one of their community building events, please call 310-676-7730. That's 310-676-7300. Or visit AfricanFocus.org. This is a diaspora-wide community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. I gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. We got 40 days of consistency. All over Febreze car, fish right on your face. You know my car's my happy place. Keep a smile on my face. It smells just right, just right, just right. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take and gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Bad Boy remix? Come on, Gina Thompson. Yeah. 95, I think. I'm not sure, but I think 95 is. 96? Okay, I was close. 1 year off is not bad, and I did mention that this is the remix. I think this is the Bad Boy remix, I'm not sure. But the version I always liked was the one with Missy on it when she first hit her hee-hee-ow. That's just a side. Shout out to Andy for always keeping the playlist lit, keeping us hot out there. Are you laughing at me, Trent? Okay. I'm just like, I try to flex my musical knowledge and show that I'm not just making this up. Like, I deeply know this. I know ad-libs and everything.
Yeah, we be knowing. We be knowing.
So, before we left you off, we mentioned that we were going to get into our Tubi review of the night, The Threat Next Door. Now, let me be honest and say, I only caught the first 20 minutes of this. It was a long week. I tried. I don't know. But Trent, you caught a little more. So
I finished it.
Okay, well, give us the premise and your thoughts on it. And then, of course, I have to hear what your recommendation for the week is.
So, The Threat Next Door. I didn't know that. I just presumed that because it was on Tubi that it was going to be a black movie, so I did not know that.
That you weren't ready for the Caucasian cast?
No, I was. It's cool, but I was not ready for the caucasity that was getting ready to take place in that movie, because it was very much. It was a 2023 version. If you meshed in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle and Single White Female, this is the movie that you get.
You know what?
With the twist.
Without me seeing the whole thing, I instantly can crystallize that whole thing.
Yes.
Because I knew what was up with Eve when she came to the door. I was like, trouble.
Eve was a mess. And see, that wouldn't have happened with black people because we sniff stuff out. We ask questions. We ain't letting you in our house like that. You got to go home. Look, it's levels to this, honey. She walked right up in them people's lives and destroyed it. But let me tell you, listen, you can't fool with everybody because they got that fight in them. It was a really good movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was funny. It was very much Single White Female. It was very much Peyton from Hand That Rocks the Cradle. And I love psychological movies like that, but dog, you saw this coming.
Rebecca De Mornay killed that role in Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Listen.
And was it Bridget Fonda that was in Single White Female?
Those are some of my favorite movies from the 90s, yes. Especially that Hand That Rocks the Cradle. She was baby.
Nuts.
Peyton went there.
Peyton was breastfeeding the baby.
You can't never trust a woman named Peyton, okay?
Peyton was breastfeeding her baby, well, the woman's baby, 10, 15 years after her baby's accident or whatever it was. Like, what was in there? Powder? I mean, I don't know. But, sorry, that was just a random
something. Baby, it was a mess.
Listen, that genre of killer white men, although, like, and the same thing goes for Fatal Attraction, there are, white feminist groups that were very much against those films because they said that it cast women in a bad light, especially women that likely were suffering from mental illness. I understand that. I get that. But sometimes We just want to have a scare and enjoy it and
Listen,
just get off on the thrills and chills.
The movies come from somewhere and they're based on something, so let's tell the story.
You know, well.
Because this was based on a true story.
Was it?
Yes,
Really?
Yes, it was.
A lot of these Tubi movies seem to be based on a true story. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, like, you know, you have your friends and you're talking around. They're like, this should be a movie. We should have a podcast. But these people actually go, and they're like, we're going to finance it and for real put it together.
Because sitting there watching these movies, I'm like, okay, what is my excuse? Why haven't I written a movie yet? Because I'm a writer. It's what I do. It's like all these stories that I have, yes, it's time for a Tubi movie from Trent Jackson.
Look, space and opportunity. You got it.
Yeah.
You're going to take advantage of it? Go get it.
I totally am.
I mean, and then go to Detroit to shoot it, because that is the Tubi capital of the world.
And they will actually, my movies will be good too, because I have some good stories. But I don't know about going to Detroit. I want to keep things. I'm very authentic in LA stories and telling the LA experience.
So your film would be set in LA?
View Park, Baldwin Hills.
Okay.
Right up Stalker. Come on. Very neighborhood. Lamar Park. What's up?
Okay, centered there. Come on,
Moesha.
Come on, Insecure.
I can only tell what my experiences are.
Come on, Blackish.
The Black LA, yes.
All right. Well, while we're waiting for that, so you were satisfied with this Tubi movie?
I was. I've been satisfied with most of the Tubi movies, even good old Hoochie Daddies was mild pleasure.
How many boxes of popcorn do you give it?
Which one?
The Threat Next Door.
We'll give it 3.5 boxes of popcorn.
3.5 boxes of popcorn.
We'll give it a strong 4.
4?
We'll give it 4.
Okay, we only have 5 boxes of popcorn.
Okay,
so
we'll keep it at 3.5. My attention was kept. I was captivated. The cast was good. It wasn't like bad acting. Eve was too predictable because I saw her coming. Maybe because I know Crazy a little bit too well, but yeah.
Crazy.
Deranged. Yes.
Shout out to Martin Lawrence.
Yep. That's what she was.
All right, so you said, though, that you have the recommendation for the movie or the TV series or whatever it may be that we're going to check out next week. So what are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
Shout out to my good homegirl, Mercedes. I was perusing the internet, and she, on Facebook, she made it a Facebook status. She was like, I watched this movie this morning. Y'all got to go watch it. That's all I'm going to say. It's on Tubi, and it's called God Forgives, I Don't.
Well, the title right there.
Yes, it is based in Detroit. It's an all-black cast.
Is it another one based on a true story?
It's another one based on a true story.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
I don't believe all of these are based on a true story. I believe some of these people are
putting
in a little
I believe that they're based on true stories because, you know, I know what is going on in my own life and the drama and the trauma, right? And, you know, family stuff and all that. I know. So this is not far-fetched considering my own experiences.
Okay, so it looks familiar to you.
Adjacent.
Yeah, okay.
For sure.
Okay, well,
especially about God Forgives, I Don't. It's a lot of themes in there about black church, things that we don't talk about. Trigger warning, it does talk about sexual abuse.
So you've already seen it?
I've watched it, yes.
Okay, and there's part 1 and part 2?
I don't believe there's a part 1. Part 2.
Okay, so just part 1. God Forgives, I Don't. So that's what we will need to check out for next week. When we come forward, we will have the story on internet sensation Little Tay. She was announced to have passed away today, but now there are questions as to if that is actually true and what has been going on in the years since the height of her viral popularity. So we'll get into a little bit of that. We're also going to chat a little bit more, I feel like, going back to the topic a little bit of Erykah Badu and academics, only because I have a question that I want to ask you about the setup. Well, actually, both you and Andy. So when we come forward, we'll get into that. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Global Urban Cultural Community presents Testimonial Sounds, Rhythms from Africa, the Diaspora, and Beyond at Allensworth State Park in Early Mark, California, featuring Lamert Park's very own Baba E.
Hello, family. This is Baba E. On August the 12th from 11 to 5, we're hosting the first performing arts performance by Chester Whitmore, Willa Washington's dance troupe, Rhythms of the Village, Lady Dread, and others will be performing on that day.
Hear spiritual, jazz, doo-wop, blues, bebop, hip-hop, and more. That's Saturday, August 12th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
To contact us, you can go to my website that is globalurbanculturalcommunity.org. Eventbrite tickets are there. Lock on, get a ticket. And then go to our website, globalurbanculturalcommunity.org.
Or call 301-717-2424 or 323-365-9239.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried new Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Can we make 10,000 thread count sheets?
For Lens Linen, staying in the comfort zone is never an option.
Maximum thread count we could possibly thread.
An industrial seamstress would make their sweet dreams come true.
I want it to feel like you're on a snowflake, on cotton candy, on marshmallows, on a cloud.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Keeping your kids safe is a full-time job. Whether it's putting on outlet covers, installing child gates, or gluing down your priceless face. So Duracell made one part of childproofing simple. Our lithium coin batteries are the only ones coated in a non-toxic bitterant to help discourage swallowing. Your kid is safer, and you've got one less thing to worry about. Or glue down. Duracell, engineered for more. Available in 2032, 2025, and 2016 sizes.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You are tapped into RSVP with Jill Munroe here live on KBLA Talk 1580. And we were having a conversation earlier about Erykah Badu versus DJ Academics. And, you know, Academics was quick to come back at Erykah and try to point out that she's dated a lot of rappers and said that she was chasing rappers, you know, that were way younger than her, not her age or whatever, right? And, I mean, essentially, this is kind of the same behavior of the men that he is so fond of and raises up, the same behavior that he emulates. So, do you think that the comeback, and Andy, this is a question for you too, of coming back at women and trying to, you know, slut shame them or whatever, chastise them for their love lives, do you think that that still holds as much power as it once did? As, you know, we've talked a bit about changing perspectives and attitudes and how far we have and haven't come, and knowing that, you know, even black women to a degree can be largely critical of black women that are sexually free, so to speak, or, you know, taking advantage of their dating options. Do you think that that is something that will go down as well?
I think that anytime you have to, especially in this climate, and you bring up someone's sexual history or you're trying to slut shame them, two things are happening. Either you're projecting your own issues that you have going on with you, or you're jealous because you're not getting the attention that they get. So what? Erykah Badu is chasing somebody younger or whatever. That's her business. If she wants, listen, there's nothing wrong with a young, strong heart back, okay?
I mean, Act pays for his company. He's been a little vocal about that.
Well, and that's the other thing. I think
know,
that he's jealous because he looks like Jerry, and he is not appealing, and no one finds him appealing or attractive, men or women. And when you have a situation, you're jealous of that, and you can't get played. You're upset, and I would be too.
So do you think that it's something that will change, or do you think that it will always be an easy reach and easy go-to, especially when we're dealing with, situations where men are...
It's an easy go-to, but it's not going to be as effective because it presents different. Especially for a man to go after a woman about, her sexual prowess or whatever. You're just mad because you can't get any.
It looks a little weak now, right?
It's very weak and soft.
Andy, what do you think?
Let Erica throw something at him. He's taking it.
Listen. I think that's why he's hurt. I think he probably had a crush on Erica. I think he thought when she was like, "You remind me of something," he thought she was flirting, and then she hit him with the kayal.
Some of the biggest arguments that I've had with women or girls growing up, I later found out that I had a crush on them. Didn't realize it like in the beginning, but the fact that I would get that emotional to be raising my voice and just yelling at the top of my lungs, and a day later I reach out like, damn, I think I like this girl. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a little bit of that going on. I mean, who doesn't want the opportunity to get a crack with Erykah Badu?
It's Erykah Badu.
Just saying.
I mean, doing that knowing full well that you're going to end up in a kufi in a kente cloth print, running around, lighting your sage, asking for protection.
There's
I'm
nothing
just
wrong
saying.
with that.
I know it's nothing wrong with that, but just, it might be a whole different twist. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe he needs to be brought back and centered. That's what the issue is.
Erica's not going to give him the light of day. He needs to
absolutely not.
And keep it cute. And keep it on mute.
That's the problem. He's been trying to keep it cute, and it's not a trait that he should be seeking.
Well, in our final story of the night, there is a situation happening with a former Instagram influencer. Her name was Little Tay. She achieved a lot of viral fame as a 9-year-old social media influencer. Her video, she called herself the youngest flexer of the century. She became known for her profanity-filled Instagram videos, showing off a lavish lifestyle that seemed to closely resemble a hip-hop lifestyle that you would see in the video. She would boast about, buying a $200,000 car, but she's 9. She didn't have a driver's license or the income. You know what I'm saying? She would be at Beverly Hills at some elaborate elite mansion talking about I run LA. She was associated with rappers Chief Keef and XXXTentacion and so forth. She called him a father figure, actually. And then it was later revealed, like some videos came out, that she was being coached on what to say and how to say it and some different things. There were accusations that, because I believe her father managed her, at one point her older brother came out and started a GoFundMe, said that she needed protection from one of her parents, basically that there were some things not right. Well, she disappeared from the internet. Her last post was in 2018. And so, again, there were issues of abuse. She was, in custody with her mother, taken out of custody, given back custody to her dad. Her dad was managing her, all of these things. At some point in time during all of this, her brother, who was her older brother, passed away. Little Tay's real name was Claire Hope. So according to her official Instagram, she would be 14 right now. She passed away. The circumstances surrounding her death were not given. And it was just, condolences. Well, the internet is undefeated. So first, her father, who was also her manager, was reached out for a comment. And he said, given the complexities of the current circumstances, I am at a point where I cannot definitely confirm or dismiss the legitimacy of the statement issued by the family, saying so. He told this to Insider. The situation calls for cautious consideration and respect for the sensitivities involved. My commitment remains focused on delivering updates that are both reliable and appropriately timed. So there's a question, is she really deceased or not? The Los Angeles Police Department, again, because the internet is undefeated, and I guess a journalist followed up, and the LA County Medical Examiner have no information or investigation into the death of anyone named Claire Hope. So I'm not sure what exactly is happening, if she has passed or if there's something else at work. But my question is really a bigger one. With all of these, you've seen some kids whose parents put them on social media, YouTube accounts when they were younger, speak out and say, they felt violated. They wish they could have had more privacy or more agency in that situation. Do you think the time is coming that we will see, much like child actors have protections and things lined up for them, do you think that we are headed that way as far as child Instagram influencers? Because there's been some other situations where things have happened. Obviously, we know the facade of social media causes people to act in different ways, but also when you couple in the money that can be made with children, because that's a sort of different beast. Do you think that there, one, will be laws enacted, and two, do you feel there needs to be some?
Do I think that there will be? No. Do I feel that there needs to be some? How do you police the internet? So,
well, just like, kids are only allowed to be on set, because you think about when you're an influencer and you're doing this, right? Kids are only allowed to be on set a certain amount of time. They have to have a tutor. They have to have certain hours. None of that is put in place for a child that's an influencer with their family.
The term job influencer, it's not real. So why do we need to restrict something that can be...
What do you mean it's not real? It's real if you make money. It's real if you have to show up and be in those videos. It's real if you have to pay taxes on it and the adults in your life are relying on you to get those checks.
What I'm saying is, how viable is that? That can be stripped away. Instagram can shut down right now. You're no longer an influencer. What are you influencing? Anything that can be taken away like that at a push of a button, and there's no recourse for it, like you don't even own your followers on Instagram. You can't contact, you can't rebuild that. It's not real. It's an illusion. Just from my perspective, okay? So how do you police something that can be changed? And to me, this is just another situation where we have influence. We have this thing on media. I've been away for 3 years. Now I need a new spin or something to get me back out in the open. I think this is it. You shouldn't play with death and
so you don't think that she's really deceived?
If your father can't confirm or whether or not you're dead or alive.
But there was said to be some abuse there and that there was an estrangement, so that could be contributing to it. We'll have to see. It's a Scooby-Doo mystery. I shouldn't say it like that, but it is something
curious. It wouldn't have been found out if you pesky kids would just stay out of the way.
Hence my Scooby-Doo reference. That's why I said that, but didn't want anyone to think I was being insensitive and terming it that way.
It's influencing. So first of all, I don't even think that kids have a place they shouldn't even be on the internet.
Well, we'll see what happens. Thank you for rocking with us tonight, checking out RSVP with Jill Munroe, with my contributor, Trent the Artist. Trent the Artist, everywhere. That's where you can catch up with him. A conversation you need to have in the mix with Trent. Make sure you go subscribe and download that. Tomorrow night we have actress Christine Horn, who you've seen on BMF and Snowfall. We'll be checking in with her. We will also have Seth Fury, who is a personal trainer and actor, because, we stay on that actor tip. We'll have all that and more for you VIPs. Thank you for rocking with us once again. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe here live on KBLA Talk 1580. When we come forward, you will be listening to the best of KBLA. Have a good day.
Yes, child told who had them. Ice cream for the ice pieces in the fashion. Yeah, being for real, so try being for real when your black is in the back class, the front team was real.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network.